Time for the 49ers Rush Podcast.
A little bit of a honesty check before we get to number 49. I don't like him. I always want to try to be biased and leave or unbiased and leave room for honest, objective reporting or whatever. I don't know what the hell my job is, but I don't like Mac Jones. I don't like him. I don't like him at night. I don't like him in the daytime, whatever the green eggs and hit. I don't like him. McCorkle comes in number 49 on our roster countdown list. Now, having said all those things, major upgrade. If you look at Brandon Allen, Joshua Dobbs, even Sam Darnold, with what he did as our backup, I know he's starting now and flourished whenever he went to the Vikings. I'd take Mac Jones over any of those as our backup quarterback. And so, I do think that the 49ers, this is one of the few positions that they improved on in free agency. Not a lot of them, but this was one, and one of the earliest signings. I don't like the player at all. You go back to that 2021 draft, the more I studied, the more I disliked from the person, the way he performs, his attitude, and then you watch him on the field, and it doesn't get much better. It's just a dirty player with not a lot of integrity and he's tough. I don't want to say he's not tough, but if you see the thumbnail of this YouTube clip, a lot of cringeworthy moments. I'll say that. Not one of my favorite players, but he's on the 49ers. And he's a backup quarterback. And, Kyle Shanahan worked under the general manager, Charlie Casserly, back with the Houston Texans whenever he was there. And Charlie Casserly always said, the most important player on your roster is the quarterback. And the second is the backup quarterback. And so, that's Mac Jones. One play away. And for 49ers fans, you've lived through injury after quarterback injury after quarterback injury after quarterback injury. You've been there. So, at any moment, good old McCorkle could be in there, and I do feel much more confident about him than I do any of the last 3 or 4. McCorkle can play. Do I think I was very happy whenever he was not the number 3 overall pick. 49ers went Trey Lance. Turns out there was no correct decision, whether it was Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, Trey Lance, McCorkle Jones. Now, if you want to play Justin Fields should have been the best of that group, then Mac Jones would have been the next, then Zach Wilson, then Trey Lance would have been last. But I did like that they took a swing for upside. And, was McCorkle Jones worth the number 3 pick? No. Was he worth the 12th pick? No. Was he worth the 15th pick? No. He wasn't worth any of those picks. Neither were any of those 4 quarterbacks. Maybe Justin Fields being worth the 15th pick, but that's about it. So Mac Jones comes in number 49 on this list. And he's wearing jersey number 10. That's a red flag already. And those of you that know. He's 6'3", 217. He's built. He's bigger than Brock Purdy, considerably. 32 and 5/8-inch arms. He has 91 percentile of arm length for quarterbacks. That's got to be good. I mean, you got lever. It's a trebuchet type arm. 26 years old. Ran a 4.8340. That's 44th percentile. He can move. He can move all right. 1.7 10-yard. Can't move fast. That's 29th percentile. 3-cone 7.04. That's good. Top 65 percentile. And vertical 32-inch. Broad jump 9.8. Whatever. Player comps, it's like Aiden O'Connell. My comp for him, and this is what I wrote before the 2021 draft in my preseason write. He's Joe Burrow without the movement, wow factor, or arm strength. That's just, again, Joe Burrow without the movement, wow factor, arm strength. All the things that make Joe Burrow great, he doesn't really have. But Mac Jones does have some elite traits, and we're going to get into that with our film session, all those things. Now, he's going into his 5th season. So let's jump back now. Let's go through and shout out to my main man, Ben. Josh and Zach help out with this series as well. Ben was the executive producer of today's show, and, man, he went on a fun diatribe just on the evolution and kind of what Mac Jones has been through and what got him to this point. And I thought it was really, really good. He's a Jacksonville, Florida kid, played at the Bulls school, and, junior year, led the Bulls school to a state regional final, then comes back in his senior year, 2016, takes them to a Florida 4A state title. 1,500 yards, 29 touchdowns, Awesome. Commits to Kentucky, only to pull back that commitment and then go to the University of Alabama instead when they offered. Shows up early at Alabama, right? Redshirted his freshman year and, not good. Gets a DUI following a game in season. You want to talk about not taking football serious. Like, I'm not saying redshirted players shouldn't go out and party, but, like, the day of a game, like, that's just crazy to me. I don't know. You deal with that however you want. And, then in 2018, appeared in 14 of Crimson Tide's 15 games, mostly as a holder on special teams, but he did get some play and had a 94-yard touchdown pass to Jalen Waddle, second longest in school history, and a win against Louisiana, so that was huge. 2019 was the starting quarterback near the end after Tua Tagovailoa had that hip surgery. Remember, Tua's been hurt everywhere he's gone, but so he steps in kind of mop-up duty towards the end, beat Arkansas, beat Western Carolina, lost to Auburn in the Iron Bowl, then goes and, beats Michigan in the Citrus Bowl, 35-16. And it was just like, whoo, that's what's up. Now, positives, because there are positives. One, he broke a lot of records, but he's smart as hell. Earned his bachelor degree in communications with a 4.0 GPA, and before he left Tuscaloosa, finished with his master's degree. So, like, you're talking about somebody that he finished third for the Heisman Trophy, so he could play on the field, but he has his master's degree in sports hospitality with a 4.0 as well. He was an academic All-American. Like, this dude did whatever you needed him to do in the classroom, and I think that is a big deal, and then some. So, credit to him. He's a student. He's smart. He has a lot of aptitude there. Now, during this time as well, dressed up. I hate going into this, but, like, yeah, dressed up for Halloween as, like, a racist Obama whatever and all that kind of stuff. There's just a checkered past here, and maybe not the best decision. I didn't make good choices in college, so, like, but that's who this guy is. And then, when Tua goes pro in 2020, he steps in and just dominates. That 2020 season, just off the charts. They played Georgia, who's the number 3 team in the country, one of the best defenses. Throws for 417 yards, 4 touchdowns, and just trounced them, 41-24. It just dominated everybody everywhere he went, including winning the national championship, skates through the playoffs, beats Ohio State 52-24 in the national championship. He throws 5 touchdowns. Like, this dude threw for 4,500 yards, 41 touchdowns, only 4 picks. It's one of the greatest seasons in college football history. He had a 203 passer rating, 77.4 completion percentage, both NCAA records, not going to be broken for a long time. Won the Davey O'Brien, Johnny Unitas Golden Arm, Manning Awards, finished third in the Heisman. His teammate won it, Devontae Smith, the Heisman. Like, dude blew it all out of the table. But you have to argue, and this was always one of the things I would go back to. It's the goldfish approach, right? The goldfish will grow as large as his environment allows him to grow. You put him on that Alabama team, best offensive line in the country, best wide receivers in the country, best running back in the country, best play callers in the country, best defense in the country, like the quote-unquote system quarterback or whatever else. Like, this dude was playing on an all-Madden team against, not scrubs, the SEC. Like, he played some quality teams, but that team was unbelievable. And it was just like, he's never going to have this supporting cast again. And then you jump to, all right, like, he gets drafted. What's he going to look like in the NFL? Well, he hit the ground running and then just has been on a constant downturn from there. And so he gets drafted 15th overall. New England sat there, and, you had the whole Shanahan. Did he want Mac Jones? Did he want Trey Lance? Whatever else. He wanted Trey Lance. That's why they took him. But he talked a lot about Mac Jones and how he wanted Mac Jones as well. This was my pre-draft write-up, okay? Before he ever took one snap in the NFL, McCorkle, this is what I wrote. Efficient. Best passing efficiency rating in NCAA history. Led the NCAA in completion percentage. Passing yards per attempt, best in NCAA history. Loves to attack trail man coverage. Read progression is A+. Very common to see him get to his third read on any given play. Can read the entire field. Left to right, no problem. Right to left, no problem. Some quarterbacks can only do half. Not a lot of arm strength. Much more of an anticipation thrower. Nice catchable deep ball, but don't expect 60-yard bombs. Amazing at limited negative plays. This is something that disappeared once he got to the NFL. Seems to always make the correct choice. Best timing and success versus the blitz of any quarterback in the draft. That disappeared as well. Again, played behind one of the best offensive lines in college football history. I had a first-round grade on him. I had a middle of the first-round grade. He went in the 15th. That's about where he was. And again, Joe Burrow without the movement, wow factor, or arm strength. So let's go through Mac Jones' NFL career. Started wonderfully. Beat out Cam Newton in training camp. They eventually cut Cam Newton. His career's over. Became New England's first rookie quarterback to start a season opener since Drew Bledsoe back in 1993. Was awesome all year. Threw for 3,800 yards, 67% completion percentage, 22 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Awesome. QBR of 92.5. After that, steady downturn. Everything went down. But, it was second in offensive rookie of the year behind Jamar Chase. Was an alternate to the Pro Bowl, which doesn't mean much anymore. But, dude was ranked 85th on the top 100 players that year. Everybody's like, oh, man, they made the right choice. 49. And I remember, Trey Lance sucks. Should have been Mac Jones. Should have been Mac Jones. And it was like, well, hold on. The next year, sophomore year, 2022, throws for just under 3,000 yards, 65% completion percentage, going down. 14 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Just keeps going down. And that was when Josh McDaniels left. And so he took a head coaching job. Matt Patricia becomes OC, and that ruined his career. Mac Jones goes and plays 11 games with a 2-9 record, 12 interceptions to only 10 touchdowns, gets benched for Bailey Zapp. Then in 2024, the Patriots trade him for a 6th-round pick to the Jaguars and as a backup. Now he's backing up Trevor Lawrence, who was picked in the same draft as him. 8 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and, Trevor Lawrence got a concussion that year. Just not good. They deny his 5th-year option, become a free agent, and the 49ers signed him right off the bat. A 2-year, $7 million deal, $4.7 million guaranteed with the Niners. He's played in he started 49 games, so he's got experience, a considerable amount. He's got more than Brock Purdy. He has played a lot of football, and it's only gotten worse. Now, my favorite thing about Mac Jones is that he signed a 2-year deal, so that just turnover of backup quarterback, it's a 2-year deal. So we've got time, thankfully, for him just to sit and learn and kind of grow. And then hopefully, this is Sam Darnold 2.0 in the sense that he gets a huge contract elsewhere, and the 49ers get another compensation pick. That's the idea, right? Now, breaking down his tape since he's been in the NFL. Intermediate is where he does everything. That 10 to 20 yards is where he does almost all of his damage. Half of his touchdown passes are in that range. That's a Shanahan staple, by the way. So that overlaps with what the 49ers do. Has not been the same as he was in college versus pressure. 29.4 passer rating versus pressure in the NFL. Awful. And it's just been down. And again, you look at the thumbnail, a lot of cringe where the idea of staying in the pocket and being tough, he'll stay in the pocket, but he cringes, he shrinks, he always is bracing himself instead of following through and just being kind of think about Brock Purdy or CJ Beathard, just Iron Man. They don't care. Come hit me. I'm staying in the pocket. I'm doing my damn job. That's not Mac Jones. He will not step into throws versus pressure, and it's crazy because he was so good at Alabama. Remember, best offensive line and skill position players in all of college football. He hasn't had that. He hasn't played on a quality road. This will be the 49ers 2025 roster will be Mac Jones' best team that he's played with in the NFL. So if we do attribute Mac Jones as a goldfish, grows to the size of his environment, well, guess what? This is a wonderful spot for Mac Jones to be in because he's surrounded by all pros all over the place. You got George Kittle. You got Christian McCaffrey. You got Trent Williams. You got Dominique Pooney. When Ayuk comes back, Ricky Pearsall solid. Kyle, you're surrounded by a much better environment and by far the best play caller he's had. You're comparing Kyle Shanahan to Matt Patricia. Are you freaking kidding me? Yeah, dude's going to be fine. Play actions where his bread and butter is, 94.2 grade in play action plays. Time to throw is solid. He gets the ball out quick, 2.5 to 2.6 seconds per throw. across his whole career. That's about 0.3 of a second faster than Purdy has been in back-to-back years. So, he's a Kyle Shanahan guy. I don't think he ever should have been, the number 3 pick. Even if he was better for Trey Lance, his ceiling was never going to get where Trey's could have been. Now, that was a mistake. Trey was a mistake, but I still think Mac Jones would have been a mistake as well. Kyle gets a guy that he did want to coach, and I do think that this is best for Mac Jones. I love this signing, and I don't like Mac Jones at all. But he's on the Niners, and we want him to be successful. I don't think he's going to have a hard time with Tanner Mordecai and keeping that at bay. You look at the contract and the experience, and there's no. I would love for Tanner Mordecai to win that job personally. That would be badass. It's not going to happen. We've seen Kyle Shanahan not play the best backup quarterback several times. So, especially, just last year. Josh Dobbs outperformed him across all levels. Didn't matter. Still going with Brandon Allen in the snow with a broken hand. Whatever. Shanahan's not going to play the best guy. That's not really what he is. He's going to play Mac Jones, whether he's the best or not. And I do think Mac Jones is the best. I would prefer him. He's a better quarterback over Tanner Mordecai. Tanner Mordecai has a higher ceiling. It's going to be Mac Jones. Not for this year, but for 2 years. And that is a good thing, because if Brock Purdy does get hurt, I do have a mild level of confidence in Mac Jones being able to operate this system. I do. I think he fits it better than anywhere he's been before. So, Mac Jones, we got through it. Number 49. Hopefully we don't see him at all. That's the goal with backup quarterbacks. But decent little life preserver if for some reason Brock Purdy gets hurt. God forbid. Nobody ever wants that. But I like having Mac Jones as a quarterback too, even though it's hard to root for him. He's on the team. Shout out to Ben, Josh, and Zach, executive producer of this show. And for us, the 49ers Rush team, we're just going to keep counting them down.